Hey everybody. It's me, Argent, and I have Kaveri here. And hey everybody. Oh, sorry. Let me just me, Argent, mute and I this have so I don't Kaveri here. And so I don't get an echo chamber. Okay, so a bunch of people wanted to have some questions answered after the last time he was on, talking about his experiences with DSP, largely kind of with regards to the timeline of things. So, okay. So what we're going to be doing for this is I will mainly be taking questions from the chat. I should have probably announced this a bit more ahead of time, but I wasn't really sure when he was going to be around and when I was going to be around, and it just kind of, it is what it is. So I don't know if anyone wants to start asking questions from the chat, that's good. So let me just go back. I think the biggest question people had was just with your timeline with regards to no one could find any of the videos you mentioned, like the PS3 unboxing.
Yeah. I had trouble myself trying to track down the videos themselves, knowing that they were made and most likely they're out there. It's just that I don't know exactly where they would be.
So some people were saying, let me just bring up, just as we're talking, I'll bring up.
So I just figured out
some of the comments from the previous video. Let me just switch to that. Window capture. I want. There we go. This. Okay, so let me just go down through. Which Evo were you at where you were playing exhibitions with DSP? Was that the year he got 4th place?
It was Evo 2008.
Okay, it was Evo 2008. There we go. So you said you were, what, 18 back then, or?
17.
17 in 2008?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let me just see here. I'm just going through this, just if there's any. Okay, so Adam K, that's the first question. I'm just going to look through here. Let's see here. Someone post this on Kiwi Forums to get more viewers. Okay, yep, someone can do that. I thought he only went to Evo one time ever, though. The year he got 4th, pretty sure, was the only year he went, I thought.
I've gone to Evo, well...
I think he's referring to DSP. I think DSP's been to Evo multiple times, hasn't he?
I mean, probably he has. I can imagine being, being in fighting game tournaments. Me, myself, because I'm more of a casual fighting game player up to that point. And even after that, I didn't really participate in much of the Evo.
Right. Let me see here. Let's see here. We have Vidar. I'm surprised more people aren't asking questions in the chat. So I'm just looking through the questions we have here. Dragon Bones, hell no. Oh, okay, no, DSP won't ever eat health here. So let me think here. So you met DSP in 2008 at Evo. When was he streaming? I'm trying to remember when he was streaming on Blip. Because that's, I think, where we would have that.
Yeah. I believe it was around maybe a year after that.
Yeah, I think it was 2010. So that would make sense. Let me I figured more people would immediately come on. Okay, because I have 2011 as well.
Okay.
So someone's asking, so you met him at Evo, not the locals?
Right, it was Evo.
Okay, it was Evo, right? Let's see here. If there's a name like, is there like a name of yours we could use to check out with Rambo or Howard, or are you, if you're legit? I mean, did you go by a different?
I I've had many different names. Well, the most common one that I had, I can't remember what it was, honestly.
Can you
It's been
think?
so long.
Can you think of maybe any others you've used over the years?
Gosh, I'm trying to think. That time I was probably going by my. I don't remember.
Obviously, don't give your real name. That's not what I'm asking for. I was just
No, I know, I know.
wondering if there was. Okay, well, you can think about that, and I'll put it in the description. If you can think of maybe some other aliases you've had over the years. Okay. So let's see here. So I'm just going to start reading through these until we get some more questions in the chat. So this is Top Soon. Not sure if you buy this. Not sure if I buy the story at all. Justin Wong and a bunch of other people who have the pleasure of being around Phil have said he's extremely quiet, awkward, and keeps to himself in real life.
Yeah, so you have to understand that when you, even though if you have that kind of disposition towards others, you have to understand that when you're in a open audience that are constantly trying to, rooting on for you, and you make your name known, and not exactly boasting per se, but you're just being very social to everyone else because you share the same kind of hobbies, views on maybe fighting games in this case. So you tend to be more vocal than what you really are outside of that.
So you're saying like he might have been like that otherwise, but when you started playing him and people started watching, he kind of felt the pressure to put on a performance. Is that kind of?
I believe, yeah, because he was open. He wasn't very to himself. Wasn't very like that. I mean, it could have been something from a certain starting point afterwards, like from when he met Leanna. That could have maybe have done something, but like as far as before that, when I met him, he was not like all quiet and introverted that like I am. If you saw me in public, you would probably say that about me, and it would be pretty accurate. Despite even being around a lot of people, I keep to myself quite a bit. But Phil, no, for him, he was not like that at all.
Okay, so someone's asking, let's see here, how he ask him why did someone's wondering why you met DSP at Evo instead of a local tournament first, or do you think you might have been to a local tournament with him?
Yeah. So it was a local tournament, but there was also the Evo too, so it was sort of back to back. And
sorry, so did you first meet him at Evo or at the local tournament?
It was at Evo. The local tournament, I've recognized his name and that kind of thing.
So you did go to a local tournament with him. You just didn't.
Yeah, I just didn't know him at that time.
Okay.
So I just met him at Evo.
How many people go to? Just sorry, I have no idea. How many people go to local tournaments? Like, was there a lot of people there?
Local tournaments. They usually the local tournaments are you could crowd like about. I would say about like good 40 to 60 people.
Okay, so it's okay. Just checking. So that would make sense then if you went, but you didn't like play him in the tournament.
No. That's when I was just on the sidelines and just spectating.
Where was Evo that year in 2008?
It was over here. As far as I can remember, it was over here in Connecticut. I'm trying to think if it was further away.
Because that year it said that it was at Las Vegas.
Right. It just came out of. So it was just. I think this was before the before Las Vegas.
So you're thinking 2000? No, it always takes place in Las Vegas, I think.
Well,
Are you thinking of a tournament other than Evo? Just because, or let me see what it was 2009.
no, because
No,
Evo.
people's.
I remember seeing Evo. Unless it was. I mean, I don't. It had to have been Evo.
Was it maybe a yeah? Because Evo's always in Las Vegas. Was it maybe a qualifier for Evo or something?
I don't really know if Evo would host like a qualifier out of other states necessarily, because I believe that that has to be all done where Evo is going to be. In this case, as you said, it was always in.
There's an Evo East Coast too. Okay, somebody's saying there's an Evo East Coast. Let me see here. Sorry, I don't know anything about this.
I'm trying to think way far. I'm trying to think hard because
No, I know it's a long time ago. I'm just
yeah,
trying to.
it's
Uh, okay, so let's see here. There's something you can't get confused though. There's one main Evo. So the Evo Earth East Coast. I'm just trying to figure this out. So yeah, just maybe think about that for a minute. Let me just take a look at this. Coast. Evo East Coast fighting tournament. Hmm. Okay, so I don't really have time to look that up now. So if somebody could look that up and bend over, if you could maybe just tell me something to Google search for that, like give me some, if you can give me a source for that, or just post it under this video, that'd be good. Okay, so that is an issue that we'll look into. Let me just go down. Let's see here.
I mean, I do remember it taking place in that around that time in the year.
Right. Let's see here. Adam K claims it isn't that. Some people are saying something else though. So let me see here.
Yeah, I don't
Some
think
of
Evo goes around disguising itself as other tournaments in the state and pretend that they're Evo. I mean, this state, the way it is, I don't even. They could have done something just to keep themselves from spending, down spending money and all that. But I honestly have no idea.
right. Okay. Let me see here. I'm just trying to go through and find some. So I think some people made some complaints about this whole thing. There was an East Coast versus West Coast. There was, asked Justin Wong, Alex Vale. Okay, does anybody have any other questions? Just because there was a lot of people here who were kind of confused about this. Okay, so let's just, maybe while I'm waiting for questions, let's go over the timeline. So you met DSP in 2008 at the tournament. Okay, that makes sense. So he started streaming on Blip in, I think, 2010. So you talked to him. So you talked to him kind of periodically over the next year or so.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. I'm trying to remember when. If someone in the chat could maybe say when he started going with out with Leanna, I think it was Valentine's Day.
See, now that this is the thing that is very strange. I don't know why it's not even on there, but he knew Leanna. It was around 2011, but everyone else has got it after May of 2012 but that's when he brought her, on for the first time. It wasn't necessarily that she wasn't seeing him, because
Yeah.
I'm a witness to it. I spoke to Leanna briefly, and over the course of just that one time I was over Phil's, and he was being a douche that he usually is.
Right. So okay. So I think the official reveal was that was February 2012, but that was the official reveal. So I think, yeah, so I guess that's what you're saying. Um,
Yeah.
that, okay, so yeah, February 2012. But maybe someone in the chat could say, I think he probably would have known her prior to then, though. Maybe been going out with her, and that's just when he chose to reveal her. So you met her sometime in 2011, you're saying?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so before she
See,
was
I mean,
formally revealed.
I don't mean to. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I don't. I don't. I don't understand why he did it like that. If that, because why he didn't come out and tell everybody that he was dating her until then just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, unless she was young, and I know she did tell me her age at one point, and I was kind of shocked because Phil was over a certain age limit, and I was just going, I was telling myself it was really creepy and strange at the same time.
So was she underage at the time? Because that's a question people always like
She
wonder
was. She told me that she was 17.
about. That she was 17 when she was started going out with him, and I guess he announced her like right after she turned 18. Then I don't know what the age.
Yeah.
What is the age of consent? I have no idea what it is.
It's 18.
It's 18. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was 17 or 18, but okay. So, okay, so you're the same age as her then, right? Or no, you're like
No,
2 or 3 years older than her.
It's 20. Yeah.
Okay,
So I was like 20. What was it? 2011. So I was just turning 21 around that time.
so this is starting to make more sense. Okay, so just going over this again. Okay, so you met him in 2008. You kind of talked to him a bit over the years. So he was trying to get you to go on just like recorded videos, like in the meantime, kind of.
Yeah. He wanted me. He wanted me to do sort of videos with him at a certain point.
Right, and then eventually, okay, so then eventually you met Pandalee around the time he started dating her, and okay, so that took place when he was doing the blip was when I guess that was when because he recorded you was
Right.
so I think back then he just streamed from a camera, so that would make sense that he turned the camera on.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, if he had a way of recording back then, I don't even know how he did it. It was probably most likely third party, but it wasn't off of me, that's for sure.
Right, because that was back before he used direct capture, so I guess he just streamed off of his camera. Somebody asks, so would Rambo or Howard be able to kind of confirm you at all?
Howard would. I'm not sure about John because John, we didn't really know each other that much like I did with Howard. But then again, Howard, it was kind of, I'd say Howard more than John, but Leanna more than Howard. We'll put it that way.
Really? So do you think like if someone were to ask Howard, would he remember you?
I mean, going by my alias online right now, he would definitely say no because
okay, because it's
I didn't use that back then, right?
Okay,
I did
we're not
use
gonna get
other.
involved in this. Okay, yeah. Sorry, go on.
I did happen to recall a name, an online name that I used, and that was Planet Vash 112.
Planet Vash 112. I think there's another Vash, isn't there? Who always is hitting on Leanna. But I'm just gonna add that in. That's based off of Trigun, right?
Yeah, yeah, I was a big Trigon fan when I was going through high school.
Right, okay. So let's see, what are people saying in the chat? Give a description of yourself or name we could use. I've heard Okay, so Ben Dover is saying he's heard your voice before in a DSP video. Let's see here. Yeah, so Howard and Rambo are not going to comment on it. Do you know Lord Vash?
I'm sorry?
Oh, there's a DSP fan named Lord Vash.
No, I'm not familiar with Lord Vash.
Okay, because he was kind of infamous, I think, for always hitting on Leanna. So let's see here. I'm just going to go through this.
There was something online for him with Leanna, hitting on Leanna, that I would have taken notice of that.
Right. That's the guy we joked about hitting on Leanna. So, let me see here. What were some of the other things? Okay, so another big question is, can you clarify if the game was Star Ocean or 2? Because we couldn't find a collector's edition copy of that in existence.
You know, it wasn't a collector's edition exactly like I was trying to remember it as such, but it was actually called a director's cut.
Okay.
And I had thought I had misreferenced that with, I believe, Final Fantasy XII, which had a Steelbook edition. And that's where I ended up saying that there was a Steelbook edition of Star Ocean 3, when really it was Final Fantasy XII that had the Steelbook collector's edition. That's what I was thinking of. Star Ocean 3 had, I remember it came in a box, an outer box, and then it came into its case where it was just plain, and it had 2 discs inside.
Okay, let me see here. Okay, so there was a director's cut of Star Ocean 3. So let's see here.
Yeah, that would be the North American release. It was all, I think they were always called director's cut. I don't think there was any.
Okay, I'm just looking at this. Okay, so Star Ocean Till the End of Time. It was re-released in 2004 as a 2-disc director's cut version with bonus features. The North American and European versions are based on the director's cut version. So, so I don't think it's that valuable a game, to be honest. Star Ocean Till the End of Time. Was it just more valuable maybe back then?
I think it was, because mine had the actual overcover that went into it. Well, it was like I said, there was a sleeve that was like, I want to say it was holographic, where you could tilt it and it showed different colors, sort of thing. And then you opened it up, and like I said, it was just plain, where it just said "Starts till the end of time," and on the back of it, you had the main protagonist with his girlfriend, and this manual was also inside of it as well.
Right.
That's going by memory, from what I remember.
Okay, so I'm just not sure if it was that valuable back in the day.
No, I mean, to me, it had value, because I liked the story a lot, and even though it was outright confusing at times, and characters weren't all that memorable, I had a lot of fun with it.
So you think you might have been kind of overstating its monetary value?
Back then, I don't know, because see, for some games on the PlayStation 2 side of things, you had Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne, which was pretty rare back then.
Mm-hmm.
Going from memory, I remember that went for like $80 used at one point. And there was also Suikoden, which also is well known for being rare, especially back then because there was no digital distribution from Sony.
Okay, so I'm looking at it because today Nocturne is about $20.
Yeah, yeah. Today, because that was way before digital re-releases on PSN. So
Oh, so you're
that
saying it was just a lot more rare back then? So the price was just
yeah, because they
higher?
had limited. Yeah, especially if it's like an Atlas game. Like I said, Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne was pretty valuable because it had very limited runs.
Because Suikoden is still like $50 to $100 for the PlayStation version.
Mm,
So I guess
yeah, the second
because
one, that one in Suikoden's case, the second one was astronomically expensive because before they had re-released it on PSN, people for a long time were talking about the high prices and there was low prints of it.
yeah, I am looking at this. They did, I think, do multiple re-releases, reprints of Star Ocean. Because I think, yeah, they did. I think they re-released it as a PS Classic or a bestseller, and then they released it online. So that would probably explain that. Okay, so just to reference something FF Fox said. No, what he said was he was 17 when he met DSP. He was in his 20s once he was like kind of hanging out with him more regularly. Kind of by the time Project 7 happened. Uh, but no, I don't think he ever claimed that he was 17 the whole time. I don't remember that.
No, I wasn't 17 that entire time. That's just not possible.
Well, no, I mean obviously not possible, but you met him when you were 17, and then yeah,
Yeah,
stuff kind of
right.
happened over time. But yeah, yeah. So I guess they just because I do know there's some other games that went way down in value once they released them as digital downloads or reissued them. That's kind of the reason why a lot of Nintendo games historically held their value because Nintendo was very slow to get onto the whole reissuing train
Mm,
wagon.
yeah, I remember it was what was it? It was I remember being particularly interested in Fire Emblem
Right.
because the first one that I started with in Fire Emblem was Fire Emblem 8, The Sacred Stones,
Oh yeah.
and yeah, and I played that game so much, and then someone told me, "Hey, Phil, you know there's a sorry to I told them that there was another Fire Emblem game I was really excited for,
Mm-hmm.
and he didn't really care, but to me it was like I wanted to play it. And it was Fire Emblem 7, which I came over here just as Fire Emblem,
Yep, I
and
was a big fan of all the Fire Emblem games.
yeah,
So,
I still play Fire Emblem. I'm in the middle of playing Fates. I gotta kind of beat that one because it's not really kind of my thing.
I have all three versions of Fates, and I beat all of them, but I commute like 2 hours a day. So, okay, so have you seen Evangelion ever?
I've heard of it.
Okay,
I
because people kept
never
comparing
watched
you
it.
to the main character,
To the what character?
to Shinji
Shinji.
from Evangelion. Yeah.
Oh,
By the way, the
not sure
Sacred
that's a
Stones
bad or
is
good
like
thing.
the Sacred Stones is like $200 now. I think that tip was fake. Okay, so let me just see here. So, okay, so this is I don't know, it's starting to make more sense to me. So, okay, so it wasn't special. So you got director's cut and special edition mixed up. That makes sense because I know there's a lot of games like Sonic Adventure DX that they called director's cut in like the North American release, but it's not actually
Mhm.
uh, that much rarer than the original one. Let's see here. I'm just gonna go down through this. So a lot of people just going through this said that they didn't believe you because they felt you were kind of stuttering and not keeping your story straight. Now, my explanation was you were just nervous because you haven't really done something like this before. Would you say that that's probably accurate?
Yeah, and you know, I don't talk online often at all. In fact, I try not to talk online at all. Even online games, it's just, you know, people just trash talk or they just mow you down, and it just becomes just a tiring, you know, just why do I gotta even like go, you know, when you're playing online games, it's not my kind of thing. So I tend to not even talk online to anybody if I can.
Right, because I thought that was pretty petty myself. I just figured you were nervous.
Yeah, I was very nervous because I didn't know how it was. This, you know, first time doing this kind of thing, I didn't know exactly if, you know, someone on Phil's side was going to start some shenanigans or, you know.
Vidar kind of did, but it was weird because Vidar, who's his #1 fan, showed up, and first he was kind of insulting you. Then he said, "Yeah, this story's probably true." Then he gave you that money. Did that go through okay, by the way?
Yeah, it went through just fine.
Oh, okay, good. I'd forgotten to check that, but yeah. So then he just sent that for whatever reason and left. But it was weird because he was actually pretty civil to me when we talked afterwards. He's a strange man, Vidar Viking. So just so there is some people in the chat who were very skeptical about this. Just you have your chance now if you kind of want to confirm it. To my mind, I think it makes a lot of stuff a lot more. Already, it makes a lot more sense to me. So so let me see. When was Project 7? When did that whole thing take place? So did you stop talking to DSP before he moved over the country? Before he moved across the country?
Yeah. I also had broken off into talking to him for a certain period of time, and then he told me about Project 7.
Right, because so just looking at the timeline, Project 7 happened in about 2011 or so. I think is when it started. It was like 2011 to 2015. 2012.
Yeah, and so I was getting ready to move over. I believe he moved in 2013.
Right. Okay, so that is the timeline is definitely making a bit more sense to me. Getting the Star Ocean thing cleared up makes sense to me. Let me just see, because we couldn't really find any footage of DSP playing Star Ocean. But once again, the problem with that, I suppose, is that was during the blip era, and a lot of.
I'm surprised that there's no. I want to say that, you know, I can't believe that there is no archive of blip online of, you know, especially of DSP. But then again, he got his account banned. Was it because of the?
Because of pretending he was a Nazi.
Dead Space. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess that would, even if there was an archive of his account, it would have been most likely have been gone way before then.
Mm-hmm.
Or before Blip TV had bottomed out, but yeah.
Right. So once again, everybody, this is your chance if you wanted to clarify something, to kind of ask some more questions about that. Did Leanna try to seduce you in order to get you to lend Star Ocean to DSP?
No.
No? Okay. So did you talk to Leanna much, like aside from Phil?
Well, yeah, of course I tried to always be, you know, just what's up, what's going on, you know.
I mean, did you talk to her online or anything like that?
Rightfully. More on, it was sort of online.
Right.
But also when I spoke to her over at Phil's at one time, she was just irritated. not herself. It was really, like I said, it was strange.
So they were kind of sniping at one another even back then?
I'm sorry?
So you were sniping at each other, they were sniping at one another even back then?
Phil would get very emotional. She couldn't talk to Phil's friends or something like that.
Yeah.
So I kind of respect that, and I just went, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Which is unfortunate because, you know, to me it felt like he was hiding. He was hiding things, and you know, like, I got maybe another girlfriend or something or some other thing, and I was just like, oh, to me this is screwed up.
Because something people have been wondering, well, at least I've been wondering about, is whether or not he was like having an affair with her or something before. Because Panda Lee broke up with him, and then he immediately had his new girlfriend.
Can't really confirm or deny any of that. It's just
okay. No, I was just thinking about it out loud. Let me see here. Sorry, I just had a little bit where my internet crapped out because internet in Canada is not the best quality. It tends to have issues. So I think that's most of what I personally had to ask. Let me just look through the comment section again and just see if we have much else people have asked about. Okay, so they talked about him in real life. We've talked about the timeline. We've talked about Star Ocean. So let me think here. The graphics card. Oh, or wait a minute here. Someone posted. Okay, so this is DSP's response. I don't know if you've seen this.
I have.
Okay, you have? Okay.
Yeah, I honestly am. You know, I'm not surprised at all for his response, or rather lack thereof, clarifications, because he clearly knows he's in the wrong. He knows that he's in. He knows he probably remembers the whole ordeal, so he just wants to keep it. He has something to obviously say about it, but he just doesn't. He just locks the thread like a little baby and says, screw this, and just puts it in an archive.
Because a lot of people thought that was probably the strongest confirmation of your story, was that he immediately just went into damage control mode, locked it, and shut it down. And
yeah. And see, now, he didn't allow anybody else to talk about, anything or question him, and that came off to me as, in a way, Phil, you really have to he has to really understand that he needs to tell people exactly, when they have questions, how else are we going to, is anyone supposed to know this? I mean, this just, he just doesn't understand. I don't think he knows anything, like, the process of it, honestly.
Well, because, like, people were saying if this was complete bullshit, like, if you were lying, then, like, when he, like, the way part of the problem, though, is DSP just doesn't react to things like a logical person would, is just to go, look, it's just nonsense, I don't know who this dude is, whatever, and then just let it lie. The fact that he, like, locked the thread and went into full cover-up mode is kind of suspicious, but it's, like, let me see, what is the end of this? Let's see here. It sounds like somebody there, or maybe someone, take very minor interactions with myself or Rambo and turn them into something they're not. Which kind of sounds like he's admitting it there, but he's saying it's like, oh no, it's not a big deal.
You see the part where he says, oh, I already have a game that I already borrowed, but I've been borrowing it for a year, and he says, I'm going to give it back or something like that. You see how much bullshit that is right there. I mean, that just, right there, I saw that, and I says, you're doing the same shit you did, I'm sorry to swear, but you did the same
I swear all the time
shit that you said to me, and honestly, I was surprised he even had a game that someone lent him. In fact, I was like going to myself, so he's up to the same shit and still doing it.
Right. Let's see here. He claims he never told anyone. I didn't have a steady girlfriend at all during my time when I was playing competitive SF in the mid-2000s. As we've confirmed now, you never claimed that. You confirmed with the known timeline that he met up with her in 2011, and he did not have a girlfriend when you first met him. So that's right. But yeah, in general, I don't know. Most of it seems to check out. I just kind of wish we had something a little more solid to go on. Like we had, I don't know, you said you don't have any chat logs or any like record of your communications with Phil. Is that correct?
Right. I mean, and you know, going as far back as that, when I had a different email address, sorry, it's what I had stored. I possibly do have something on my end in a different form, and well, I'd hope that it's on there, but I haven't really looked at it in a while.
If you get some time, it just because I increasingly, because I admit I had a couple doubts, but as we kind of go over this, I do more and more see the pieces falling into place. If you could find like something that's a bit more solid, then I think we could like get this to stick, and then maybe I could get like just yeah. But because if like we could prove what you're saying is true with the whole stealing the game, trading it in, him guilting you to try to give him a PS2, like streaming you without his your permission, like it's like a new level of it's like a new low for Phil. Like that's all really like shady shit.
Yeah.
But that's
I have an old hard drive that I possibly have records from my bank on that I can show you. That I mean it would be hard for me for anyone to accept that, to tie it to the graphics card that I loaned him the money to, but you will see that I did take out the money, and it was obviously for that purpose.
right. I mean, I don't think that's exactly, but no, that's interesting. So, okay, that's a good point. No, that's okay. You don't have to show me that. Argent, tell us next time when the stream comes back up. What, is the stream not up at the moment? It looks like it's going
saying
fine.
Off air.
Oh, it is? Oh.
On my end, it says off air.
That's annoying, because it's broadcasting live for me. I'm not even getting any... Oh, it is. Okay. You have to refresh. Alright, so let's see here. So I think we've covered most stuff. I'm just going to give the chat another couple minutes. If you guys want to ask any questions, want to put them on the spot, you can do that now. Otherwise, is there just anything else you kind of want to say about Phil or etc.?
I would like to ask, I mean, pretty much it's been covered by now countless times from other people too, why, but honestly, I just want to know what does he have to hide? Why can't he come out like a man and say what he did was wrong and, obviously make up for it? I'm not saying something drastic, because the situation that he's in, quote unquote, that he is in right now, but just make good on it, because it really, I get asked this question from my parents from time to time, is when are you going to get when are you going to get back in touch with the person, with this person who ripped you off? And I keep telling them that, you know, it's been so long now that I've been trying to tell him and times that he's just not the type of person, and then they just go, well, Phil, they just say, Phil's got to make do for this, and I tell him, I completely agree with you, and it sucks because there's no real way for him to man up because he doesn't want to do it, and he'll have someone go in for him to try to do these desperate attempts to try to make it look, you know, like something else, try to twist it and make it look like the person, the victim, is bad and that they're the ones to blame because they didn't help Phil out in the end, which is utterly, completely disgusting. I don't know who does that or who ever does that kind of thing, but for someone like him that's got a big, you know, and this isn't to smear him, this isn't to make him look awful, this is what happened, and I can have my parents tell that, you know, their side of things, and or, you know, like I said, like I have the hard drive. It's possibly, I don't really know, it's an IDE hard drive, so it's going to be difficult to take anything off of that into my computer that I have now. But if I can, I mean, I can definitely show you things that would help make this more of a, you know, more evident that it did happen.
Right.
Because I like to have somebody come to me face to face and, you know, let's resolve this, let's, you know, or, you know, stop making up the bullshit. Just stop. It's not doing anyone any better. It's making you look worse. I'm looking bad here. And to my parents, to, you know, the people that know about it, when is he ever going to become a man at this, you know, when is he ever going to become and come to the realization that he has wronged who he has in the past? What's it going to take?
Okay, well, I think that's about it. Just if you can think on it, if you can find anything, as FF Ox says, any text log, Skype, NSN, just any of the past videos or stuff like that. I know it's difficult, I know it's been a long time, but just I think that would really help. Otherwise, I think we've covered most of the main things people were asking about. I just wanted to thank you for coming on again. It was good talking to you. And
thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good rest of the week. And talk to everybody.